Hey guys, what's going on? Hermdo back with you to recap the last three Detroit Red Wings games. The Wings won five against playoff teams and looked good doing it, but got a couple games against the Buffalo Sabres and especially the New York Islanders, two teams that did not make the playoffs last year, two teams that were closer to the bottom of the league last year. And they got their asses beat. But let's go over October 22nd, Buffalo 4, Detroit 2. First period was scoreless. Second period, Buffalo pulled ahead with multiple goals. Detroit did score one via Emmett Finney, charging in the front of the net from a feed by Dylan Larkin to cut the lead. Third period, Buffalo sealed the game with a go-ahead power play goal by Jack Quinn at 4:15 of the third, followed by a goal from Josh Doan. Quinn had a goal plus two assists, 3-point night for Buffalo. Detroit five-game winning streak ended with this loss. Goalie for Detroit, John Gibson, made 27 saves. Detroit started strong in the season with wins, but this game exposed issues, letting Buffalo build momentum, special teams lapses, and inability to respond in the third. Finney's goal is a bright spot, productive young forward, but the defense closing execution needs improvement. The next game, October 23rd, New York 7, Detroit 2. This is on the road at UBS Arena in Long Island. The Islanders jumped ahead, dominated play, and built a multi-goal lead. Goals by Dylan Larkin and Jonathan Berggren. Power play goal were the only markers. Islanders. Emmett Heineman scored twice. Anders Lee had three assists. Strong all-around game by the New York Islanders. Detroit scored Detroit's second straight loss in back-to-back road games. Detroit allowed 7 goals, high for the season, raising questions about defensive consistency. The Islanders held the Red Wings to a very low shot totals early, dominated possession. The back-to-back situation likely contributed to fatigue and sloppy moments. Detroit's offense produced only 2 goals despite flashes of individual quality. Defense pressure handling remains a major improvement area. This game punctuates the bubble team status, capable of wins but vulnerable in multi-game sets. So yeah, I don't know. This is just what the Wings are kind of are at this point. Just kind of a bubble team. It's just one of those things. They go on little streaks here and there. They rattle off a few wins. You're feeling pretty good. Then they have a loss like this, real kick in the balls. Really got to wonder what the whole defense and goaltending situation is. I remember over the years looking at Philly Husso and Alex Nedeljkovic and whatnot, but hoping John Gibson and Cam Talbot can be the answer in net. But it's just still an issue plaguing the Wings, but they looked good tonight, October 25th, 2025, versus St. Louis Blues. Another playoff team. St. Louis made the playoffs last year. They had 96 points. This is at Little Caesars Arena. It's a home game for the Wings. Detroit was down early 0-2 after first, but turned it around. Second and third periods, Detroit surged, scored 3 goals in the second, took the lead, added 3 more in the third. For example, Jonathan Berggren scored a power play goal in the third. Emmett Finney had another goal. Simone Edvinsson had 2 goals. Alex DeBrincat, I think this is his first goal of the season, if I'm not mistaken. Better late than never, I guess. But yeah, JT Compher also had a goal. He's been quietly productive. Detroit's offense came from multiple sources, including veteran and younger players showing depth. With this win, Detroit improved to 6-3-0 for October, which is better than I thought they would do. Much better than I thought they would do at this point. I mean, we're not even 10 games into the season. We'll look at the standings in the upcoming schedule next. But St. Louis returned lower shots early, but Detroit's rebounds and surge showed resilience. SSOT read up noted Detroit has a quirky but positive history versus the Blues after allowing 7 goals to the Islanders. This game is a big confidence builder for Detroit, showing ability to dig out of the early trouble, bounce back strong at home. Depth scoring is real. Multiple lines, young guys contributing, not just top stars. Defensive and transition improvements, net fewer early goals allowed. They executed a comeback, a sign that when healthy and focused, Detroit can compete at a high level. This team over the last 2 or 3 years, Blashill, not Blashill era, but what was that dickhead's name? Despicable Me looked like fucking Gru. Um, Shit, I don't remember. I don't remember. I remember Jeff Blashill and I remember Todd McClellan, the dickhead. Derek Lalonde, excuse me, but the Lalonde era and now the early McClellan era, just punctuated by a lot of this team looks like a playoff team sometimes. They can contend with the playoff teams. They look really good, but they're just so streaky and inconsistent still. But this win definitely scored 6 goals, which is definitely a massive confidence boost. But Detroit remains in high variance mode, capable of strong wins, but still vulnerable to breakdowns. The wins showed the roster depth and upsides are significant. The losses show areas need tightening. Defense consistently road back-to-back handling. For the season ahead, if Detroit can reduce the blowout losses, maintain consistency on the road, and lean on their depth, they are on track to be a legitimate contender rather than just hopefuls. But let's take a look at the let's take a look at their schedule next. They play the Blues. They head on the road to St. Louis to play the Blues. They're taking a West Coast road trip, placing the Kings, Ducks, and the Sharks. And we got they're the Golden Knights next, so they're going to be out west for a while. Then they return home for 4 against the Rangers, Blackhawks, Ducks, and Sabres. Hopefully, we can get a few wins there. I think they'll do all right in this stretch. But let's take a look at the standings. Red Wings are number 2 in the Eastern Conference Atlantic Division, right behind the Canadiens. The Canadiens and Wings usually bottom feeders in this division. Now it's the Senators and Lightning. Senators kind of surprised me. I mean, it's still so early in the season. Lightning kind of surprised me too. I just really didn't. The Lightning. I mean, they have dropped off a bit. Bruins have dropped off a bit. I figured that much. Maple Leafs at about 500. Panthers at about 500. It's early in the season. It's not even November yet, but still. Yeah, that's gonna do it for me. Thank you all for watching. I really appreciate it. But Wings need to be just more consistent. They gotta, they need all the guys to start contributing, and the young guys have been doing really well. Hopefully, Alex DeBrincat. I know he's got a good amount of points so far this year, mostly assists, but just a nice bounce back win. Hopefully, we keep this momentum going. Really show the Blues who's boss, and just go from there. And we'll see how this season winds up. But yeah, I still think they can make the playoffs this year. I don't want to guarantee anything, but I think they're a playoff team. I think they'll make the playoffs. I'm so scared about guaranteeing anything, but whatever. But that's all I got for you guys for right now. Subscribe to Detroit Fan Forum, subscribe to Hermdo. All sorts of good stuff coming your way as the seasons start picking up. Mark's been doing more basketball stuff. We talk more about the Lions and whatnot. They're off tomorrow. No Lions tomorrow. So we're going to have to wait another week to talk about these guys unless something crazy happens. They acquire somebody or somebody else gets hurt or God knows what. But anyways, that's all I got for you guys for right now. Thanks for watching. I'll talk to you guys later.